another episode of Thought Process. Here today, I have my good friend and old friend, Raul Salcido. You are a chef, and you also play in a rockabilly band. Is that right?
Psychobilly band.
Psychobilly band. Sorry. What's the difference between the two?
Well, psychobilly. It comes from the roots of rockabilly, but with more of a punk feel. Started in the 80s in the UK. Yeah.
Really?
So
It's
a lot more sped up than your traditional 50s rockabilly. Yeah.
And they have an interesting style. I mean, I'm kind of sad that you don't have that today, but perhaps next time.
Yeah.
But can you tell me a little bit about the style, like the jean jacket with the black? Usually, it's a black shirt with some jean pants, and then the quiff on your hair, right?
Yeah. I guess it's pretty similar, and that with the whole kind of punk thing, you get these jean vests with patches all over them, like some leopard print, zebra print, very traditional. Yeah.
Traditional.
Yeah, traditional psychobilly style. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. So I've known you since the third grade.
Yeah.
Right?
Third grade, yeah.
Man. Now we're career men almost, right?
Just about, yeah, pretty much.
Starting the career. When did you get into being a chef?
It's something I wanted to do since I was a little kid. I was like, I don't know, somewhere around 5, 6. I always said I wanted to be a chef, but I didn't start until probably about 4.5 years ago.
It's funny, dude, because I remember when I first came to your house, and I remember this till this day, man. Your mom, she made hot dogs for us. I was over playing. What were we playing at that time? Metal Gear? No. What is it called? It's like the car game for PS1.
Oh, probably like Need for Speed or something.
No, it was called something Metalhead.
Oh,
what is it?
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Oh man, that game, dude. So that was always a good time. But I remember one time I was over, we were playing. Your mom made us some hot dogs, and she brought out some interesting ketchups and mustards that were different colors. Remember
yeah.
And I remember that you were so excited about that. I was like, man, it's so weird. Like back where I come from, like ketchup was just red.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, they had that ketchup with like the food dye in it.
Yeah. Dude. So all this time, I'm sure it was like in you that you like this kind of stuff, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would always try to get in the kitchen as a kid, and yeah, especially if my parents weren't around. I tried to cut myself so many times as a kid. Almost cut off a huge chunk of my thumb at like 6.
Shit. Man. So, I guess since you were a kid, you've always been cooking, just whipping up your own things?
Yeah. Growing up, I would just watch my parents and then just try to make stuff, try to imitate their stuff, and then eventually kind of try to push those boundaries of the knowledge I had at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a dish that your mom or parents, passed on to you? You don't have to give me the recipe, but what's something that you can whip up?
Actually, one thing my mom did teach me as a kid is how to make chiles rellenos, which it's a simple dish, but there is a lot of technique to it. But yeah, she probably showed me how to make it when I was somewhere around like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And now to this day, every Mother's Day and every one of her birthdays, that's what I make her.
Oh man, that's awesome. What a good kid, man. It turned out to be, dude. That's really cool. And you do you pair them with rice, or what do you pair them?
Usually rice.
The traditional is rice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always loved me some chiles rellenos. To this day, it's probably one of my favorite meals that my mom makes.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. And that and mole.
Oh, mole, yeah.
Mole is a really good one. Man, that's awesome, dude. And so mean, we've not that we've lost contact, but
Yeah.
you know, you're doing your thing. Like, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
After so long that we've seen each other.
Yeah. So I mean, now I started working in San Diego recently. Like just it was time to move on, kind of learn from new chefs. Kind of keep climbing a new ladder. I took a step down in my position, but at the end of the day, it's like more
I guess
knowledge.
Maybe we should go back to what you did after high school. Like, what were you working as?
After high school, I started moving furniture. I did that for 6 years. Like it's a tough industry, but I mean, it's not what I wanted. I did it initially to save up for college, which I never saved up any money.
I think that's everybody, man. Everyone's like, you know what? I'm gonna take a year off, and then I'm gonna go to college.
Yeah.
And then that year turns into 2 years, and then next thing you know, it's 10 years later.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happens.
Yeah, but at some point I felt like I was just kind of stuck there. I had no way out. I was like, how do I go to college, or how should I even start in my industry? How should it? There was so many thoughts in how am I gonna get in there? At some point I was like, oh, maybe I'll just apply and try to be a cook, which was a bad idea at the end of the day. I didn't get hired anywhere, but eventually what I did was build up my credit line. Then I went and took out all the student loans just under my name, Just said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done. Like from 1 week to the next, I started school. Another 2 weeks went by. I started washing dishes. And it was a pay cut, but I was where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Within 3-4 months, I moved onto the line. I was moving as fast as I could at that point. I would talk to the chef and be like, hey, can I prep anything? I'm like, I'm done with all my dishes. What can I do? And I would just kind of keep pushing that boundary to be like, all right, I want to be on the line. Like, I don't want to be a dishwasher forever. It's good I did it because I appreciate the work they do. It's such fucking hard work. They bust their ass.
You think that if you hadn't done that, you would look at them different?
I feel like, it was good for me to experience what they have to do.
It's really good.
Yeah, because a lot of people aren't willing to do that. They go to culinary school, they come out, and they're like, I'm a chef. You're not a chef. You're not a chef at that point. No. Fuck no. There's so much more beyond that. I got lucky with the chefs I learned with through school, at school, and at work. Like, I was lucky to have very creative chefs to really push me to do more. And I don't know where I'd be if I didn't do all that,
Oh man, that's awesome to hear. Yeah. So you've had some mentorship when it comes to your culinary career? Yeah,
definitely. After I left my first restaurant, when I started working downtown Santa Ana, that was the first actual chef I worked for. He actually worked on the line with us every day. He was there all the time, and he pushed me to be better at what I do. He taught me so much. After about 4 or 5 months, he gave me a position as a kitchen manager. And for me, I was like, how do I run a fucking kitchen? I just started it hasn't even been a year that I started. Yeah. How the fuck am I going to do this? I was stressed. I didn't know how to do it. But I kind of just learned as I went. I just kept figuring things out, how to do my ordering. I would bug him so much. I would always have questions, but that was always a thing where it's like, it's better to ask than try to do it yourself and fuck it up.
Right.
So,
and it sounds like you've had a very helpful mentor. At that point in time, right?
Yeah. Even to this day, I still keep in touch with them. I'll call them here and there. Anytime there's been any changes on like what's going on with my jobs or anything, he still helps me out. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. So, you went from a small little restaurant when you said you prepped everything yourselves, right, from scratch.
Yeah, it was an all scratch kitchen. Yeah.
So how long was culinary school for you?
So it was only 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, it was very helpful because I went in knowing what I wanted. I wanted to gain knowledge. I didn't care about the piece of paper. I didn't go in there for a piece of paper because it means nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You can get that and not really go far in what you're doing. So it's meaningless. I did it because I wanted to learn as much as I can in a short period of time to actually get my career going. Because I could have learned everything I know now in any kitchen.
But it takes a long time.
Definitely takes a
You
long
gotta put in
time.
the time.
Yeah.
You gotta
So I got to work with so many chefs in a short period of time. And by the time I got out, I was already a year into managing a kitchen. And then about a year later, became a sous chef at another restaurant and just, kept moving from there.
Man,
Yeah.
smart kid, man. Gosh, man, because we were just talking about, before the podcast, how a lot of people limit themselves to choices in life.
Mhm.
It seems to me like you had a goal in mind. You had a problem, which was the lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you have the passion and the drive to attain that goal no matter what. And it's funny to me that, because I'm guilty of this. I've made so many excuses in my life, man. Like that, I'm running out of that, dude.
Haven't we all?
I mean?
Yes.
I
made many of those.
At this point, man, something has to happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of living like the rest of the people in a sense. And it's cool, man, because I really appreciate people who have found their passion. Because everyone's like, like I'm trying to find my passion. I'm trying to find my thing, right?
Yeah.
Yet not so many people get to do that. They don't achieve that.
Yeah.
They go through maybe a couple odd jobs. Like you were moving furniture for 6 years after high school when your mind was on culinary and on food. I mean, how can I create food, right?
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah.
You can always make it happen.
Yeah. It's never too late. I mean, everyone says that, and I mean, it's definitely true. I mean, the only thing is people aren't willing to do is sacrifice. You have to make sacrifices to get where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, a passion isn't just something you love. It's something you're willing to have a little suffering for. You make these sacrifices to get to where you want to be. If you don't do that, there's no way you're going to get there.
That's right. Yeah. What's one of the biggest sacrifices that you've had to make till this day?
Till this day,
because
I mean, just
we're still young,
Yeah, we are still young. But I mean, mostly I rarely get to see my friends at this point. I mean, over time you make new friends, you have all these new coworkers, all this, but all the friends I've had forever. I mean, I've missed friends kids baptisms recently, baby showers for my friends, just little things like that, that matter, they're old friends. You keep in touch. I mean, I'll see them once a year at this point, ever since I started working in the culinary industry. But it's still I saw them last week.
Right.
Everything's, we still have that bond. But it kind of is a sacrifice. I see them going out on weekends, having fun. In my industry, I get weekdays off. So when I'm at work, they're all out having fun. So it is a little hard with that. And then, you just lose relationships over time because people don't understand that, it's not just a regular 8 to 5 job.
Right.
Yeah, it's a job that you work endless hours. You don't have an end time. If you're closing the restaurant at the end of the night, you don't have an end time. You can be there 12 hours, 15 hours. You don't know. Yeah, just depends what needs to be done. But you make those sacrifices to get where you want to get to. Yeah, just gotta keep pushing.
Gotta keep pushing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I could imagine how tough that might be. losing those connections over time, like you said. Because
Yeah.
I've had my share, you know,
Hmm.
I've had my share. Some people don't understand that um, you're trying to build something, and building something takes a lot of your time.
Yeah.
And I mean, they'll see it at the end, like later in a few
Yeah.
years, once you had your own restaurant, and then you can really take time off
Yeah.
whatever you want, right? And then they're gonna be stuck just on weekends. Like, you'll see the difference later, the
Oh, definitely.
compound um, difference later. But at the beginning, it's tough, and it's almost well, it's very challenging for one,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, I could imagine how many times, because personally, I've wanted to quit so many times. So I'm
Yeah.
working 12, 14 hours a day. Man, I just want a week off or something. And then maybe I'll just do something else. Like, you think that comes to mind sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
the quitter's mind is always there.
Yeah.
But, you just kind of, especially if you have the passion for it,
Yeah.
then the time, it doesn't make a difference, right?
No,
It's just
I don't.
time at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, I don't mind doing it, but I can relate to what you just said about quitting. I've had times throughout my career where I'm like, is this really what I want to do? I'm like, this is what I've always loved, but there's so many stressful times or different thoughts in my head where it's like, is this what I'm gonna do the rest of my life? And then I stop myself and I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, what am I thinking? Why would I even think about quitting? Like, yeah. But I can definitely relate to that. Like that quitter's mindset. It's rough.
Yeah, I feel like our mind and body, they tend to want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So you're putting 15 hours, 16 hours a day. It's gonna want to just, hey man, I just want to sit on the couch and watch TV.
Yeah.
Hey man, Netflix. Hey man, it's social media. And you don't even have social media now, do you?
No, I still do.
You do?
I'm just never on yet.
Okay, well, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I find that it's a big waste of time.
Yeah, kind of is. I mean, in a way, it's kind of cool because people can kind of see what you're doing, like with the band or with food. Like I can post stuff up and people can kind of see where I'm at. Yeah. Especially like, I mean, me and my friend Jerry at some point we're doing pop-up dinners when we have more time. Now we're in San Diego working crazy hours, but we got to do 4 of them that were from 17 to 15 course dinners. I mean, fuck, I remember the first one. I think we lost a bunch of money on that. We spent so many hours and time to do that dinner and just fucking lost money. Like, and then actually up until the 4th one is when we made money. We made $20 each. Yeah, but we always lost a little bit of money, but we weren't doing it for money or anything. It was more of us trying to push each other to push our boundaries of like the knowledge we have at the time.
Wow.
So, I mean, creating these large menus for so many people, I mean, it was just fun for us, like we go to work, get off work, start prepping for our pop-up dinner. We're up until 5 in the morning or something, put our stuff away, go back to work, then do it again the next night.
So, what would you consider a pop-up dinner?
So I mean, so pop-up dinners are more of like kind of something more underground. You do it in your home, or you kind of just find a place where you can see people and give them this experience, which is it's technically illegal to do that. You're technically not supposed to do something like that.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But I mean, it's something a lot of chefs do it. It's more to kind of give an experience. So me and my buddy wanted to give a fine dining experience for people that can't afford that kind of food. I mean, doing a 13-course tasting menu, you're looking at a few $100s. Yeah. We were charging like $50, $60, and then maybe an extra $10 for a wine pairing. we would put hundreds of hours into creating the menu, pairing our wines to each menu item, just all that, and then going into all the prep work that needs to be done for each dish, and like it.
Man,
Yeah, but that was
That's-
something we
that's-
did for fun.
that's passion, man.
Yeah.
So you were still working with this guy today?
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys.
So I've known him for about 15 years now. Yeah.
Whoa,
We
15 years.
So it's kind of similar to with us. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we used to hang out all the time, whatever. But then at some point, you know, he started years before I did. I mean, he already has over 10 years in the industry.
Whoa.
But he was off in like Dana Point for years, and so I didn't see him for a long time. And then eventually, in the past like 3-4 years, we, you know, reconnected again, and yeah, just started pushing each other. Yeah.
How did he get into the business? Did he go to culinary school too?
Actually, so he only did a little bit of school. He didn't really care to do the school thing. He learned a lot from restaurants he worked at.
Okay.
So we both come from that different background. He didn't do the school I did. He comes more from a corporate background. I was more into the smaller, like chef-owned restaurants. I felt like I could be more openly like creative with that. Corporate's more strict on this or that.
Sure.
And I mean, I do work a corporate restaurant again, but I just wanted to learn something else, like because I would always cut off corporate real fast. So like, all right, let's do this for a while, see how this goes. I never really gave it too much of a chance, but I still enjoy that small.
Corporate's a little tough, right? Because it's you got they give you the way to process the food or whatever.
Yeah.
But they give you very little creative workspace, right?
Somewhat. I mean, so yeah, it is a little more limited, I'd say. But at the end of the day, I mean, the standards that are met at the restaurant I'm at now are pretty high. So I'm not just learning about food, but I'm learning how to be more organized, more clean, more. I already thought I worked very clean and organized, but watching how these chefs work and how they taught me to work, it was beyond my thought, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, so you've already learned something then.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I've been learning a lot. Yeah, a lot of these chefs are coming from different areas. The first chef that trained me before our grand opening, and like after that, he's an executive in San Francisco.
Whoa.
And he was great. It's funny how a lot of people didn't like him. He did yell a lot, all that stuff, but I can take it, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people hated him, but I respected him because he wasn't yelling at me to be an asshole. He was yelling at me because he wanted better for me. So yeah, within that week or two I worked with him, my fucking knowledge on a lot of things went up.
Yeah, great. Yeah. I would imagine how, besides obviously the cleanliness of the preparations, right? Aside from that, being organized and all that, you know, you said that you thought you were organized and clean, but then you saw this other level.
Yeah.
How did that change your perspective on that? Like how, like obviously it blew your mind, but how did it change your I guess not your career, but the way you do things?
I mean, it wasn't like a huge difference, but there was those little details I wasn't looking for. Like I'd say, like when I'm prepping something, when even during service, when no matter how busy you are, you always have 2 seconds to do those little things. It's just those little details that I wasn't looking at before. But now I see those little details, and then I catch myself getting frustrated when I see someone else not doing it, and I'm like, hey, yeah, like let's clean this up. We're busy, but let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, man. And how much would you say that the preparation, as opposed to the actual doing the food, would be, or which of the two would be the most important? Preparation, how you prepare the food, how it's marinated, how the spices, the condiments, right?
Yeah, I mean everything. I mean, at the end of the day, everything from beginning to end should be
It's a
to a certain
process.
standard. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean all that stuff like it has to be done before service or during service. One person, or someone's prepping that stuff out, and then someone's working the line back and forth. But yeah, I mean that prep work is very crucial.
Right.
Yeah, because something that takes time, you're not gonna have 10 minutes when you have 30 orders on your board. Like you don't have any time. You have to have that made, and it has to be to that standard. You want to give the guest, something great. Like, you don't want to give them something half-assed.
Yeah. So, what kind of restaurant is it? Like, what kind of food do you guys serve at the moment?
So I mean, it's a little mix of stuff. It's more like I'd say of a smokehouse. A lot of the stuff that's cooked is like we have a wood fire grill, we have a wood fire oven, then we have a huge smoker on the backside. So that's pretty cool. We got that stuff. I mean, yeah, from seafood to steaks and ribs. I mean, you can't go wrong with smoked ribs.
I want to ask you the name, but where in San Diego is it?
It's in Del Mar.
Del Mar. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's
a little. It's like little south of like maybe 5-10 miles south of Carlsbad, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's still like 20 miles from downtown.
Okay.
It's still kind of far, yeah.
Actually, we may stop by. I have a group of friends who we're gonna take a trip down to San Diego. Either later in September.
Oh, okay.
Or mid-September. So we'll let you know.
It
would be really cool to come by.
Yeah. Let me know.
The place out.
Yeah.
Definitely. So how has this changed your life now that you're dedicating something, you're putting so much energy into what you consider to be your passion? In terms of like how you view like your daily life, like obviously you have sacrifices. You don't see your family, you don't see your friends, you have very little time to party or hang out or chill or do stuff like that. But I feel like this is even more rewarding than a lot of those other things.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I did a lot of my partying and like after high school, early 20s,
Okay.
I mean, I still like to go out and drink. Don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah. But I mean, it's not like that kind of thing where it's like, oh, it's Friday, let's go fucking party.
Yeah.
It's more not like, all right, work is work. I gotta just keep going at what I'm doing. I mean, I'm still only so far in my career. I'm not even at 5 years. This is something I want to do the rest of my life. So in the next 10 years, where am I going to be? Like, I still want to travel. I want to go stage, which is you pretty much go work for free at a restaurant. Either you're trying to get a job there or you're trying to gain knowledge from there. So that's kind of what I want to do. I want to, at some point, be like, I'm going to take a few months off. I'm going to travel here. I'm going to travel there. I'm going to try to work for these chefs, see what I can learn over time. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to get rich off of this. I'm just trying to live like, okay, I don't want to struggle, nor do I want all this fucking money that I don't need.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean...
it's funny that you mentioned that because I feel like a lot of people who are dedicating their time to this one thing that they're good at.
Yeah.
It's like their gift or whatever you call it, right?
Yeah.
Or their passion, for lack of a better word. They all say the same thing. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's just doing something that doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
Right? It feels like almost like play. Like
in a way. You go and have fun.
Fun,
yeah.
Right?
I mean, even though sometimes it can get stressful and all that, at the end of the day, walking out of the restaurant, I'm happy with what I did for the day. Wow,
that's very cool.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are missing that from their life.
Yeah.
They have these shitty jobs where they go 8 to 5. They sit in a cubicle.
Yeah.
Or they're in some office space selling insurance and telemarketers. Oh man, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
I wouldn't be able to sit down for that many hours. I'd go crazy. But I mean, it's just people that kind of fall into more of like, okay, well, this is what life is. You find this job, you do these hours, whatever, and it's just kind of a constant back and forth.
It's like a cycle, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
You know, since we were kids, we were always told you gotta go to school, you have to graduate from high school, and then after high school, you're gonna go to college. After college, you're gonna go get a career. You're gonna get married, have kids, buy a house, and die.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of it, I feel like high school and all that was kind of a waste of time for me.
I think everybody thinks that.
Yeah, like I kind of just bullshitted my way through. Like, I mean, I didn't care. At the end of it, I was like, I need to get out of here and start my career. Like, because at that point, I already knew what I wanted.
Right.
So for me, like, that was a waste of 4 years. Then a waste of 6 years moving furniture and all. Well, I mean, and then again, I do look back and I did learn a lot from it. Yeah. It taught me a lot better work ethic. You know, you're busting your ass all day. You're out in the sun. You're in these crazy remote areas that are hot as shit. It's definitely rough. So it taught me a lot. So going into my career, I definitely learned a lot before. I always look back and I'm like, what if I would have gone into it right after high school? Where would I be? But I look at it as I don't look at it as a negative that I didn't, because I got all that partying out of the way. I was working a pretty much job that I wasn't gonna stay at, but it was kind of paying my bills at the time. I was still learning that, you know, that work ethic, pushing harder. But I don't feel like I would have gotten as far and taken it as serious as I did when I did it if like my parents would have got me into college for it and I would have just started as a cook. And how different would it have been, you know? Yeah. How different would my mindset be this day?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yes. Yeah, I also feel like that because I've had plenty of odd jobs. Mm-hmm. You know, I did the one restaurant where I worked at was Carl's Jr. And, oh my god, dude, I detested that place. Like, you know, they would get me in for lunch, work 4 hours. I would basically go in, clean before lunch.
Yeah.
Bring people up at lunch, bring out their food, and it wasn't very satisfying.
Yeah.
You know, and the people there, they were like stuck there for years. So their life was all over the place, and it was just a very bad, you know, place, ambience to live in, or to work in, rather.
Yeah, yeah.
So from there, I mean, I did cell phone. I sold cell phones here and there. I went into a warehouse job from 2 years to become like a warehouse lead, and then it shut down. Then I moved to like a Home Depot. I worked there for like 3 years, and so I mean, I guess I've always done like physical work.
Yeah.
And then I went to do security. So at like shows.
Yeah.
So, you know, at the Irvine Amphitheater.
Oh, nice.
People would jump over sometimes. They would, what was it, for the West Coast, for Snoop Dogg, and I don't know who else went. Like Wiz Khalifa went there.
Yeah.
And Snoop Dogg. So you had people rushing from the mountains and over the fences.
Yeah.
To get in there, and you would have to kick them out. There would be fights. Like, it was just crazy.
That's crazy.
And then I did parking attendant.
So, well,
yeah, it was
a lot of more jobs, yeah.
And then now I'm doing property management, which is a way different. But it took me all these, you know, trial and error to find this one thing that I actually liked.
Yeah.
You know, getting into real estate, which is really cool.
Yeah, but it's very different for everybody. And in reality, I mean, you just got to keep trying to find what you want to do. Yeah. Not everyone knows what they want to do after high school. Not everyone knows what they want to do in their late 20s and 30s.
You know, some people are 40, 50, barely figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like, what's this guy? KFC. The
guy
started at 62.
Yeah. And then when he's, that recipe got him how far? You know,
Yeah, so I don't know how long he lived after that, but
yeah,
he was set, and his family set.
yeah,
You know,
for generations.
and it's like it's not like a small little branch, like or a brand. Everybody knows KFC.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
it's like a
everywhere.
McDonald's. It's up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but that's really interesting, man. It's really happy that we talked about your culinary experience.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride, but
yeah, maybe our group can go over and have some dinner over there.
yeah,
We'd be
definitely.
really happy to.
Just let me know, and yeah, take care of you guys.
You don't have to do that, man. We need to do everything. I just want to go and support, friends. But let's talk about a little bit about your band, man.
Yeah.
What is it? What's your band called again, so people can check them out?
Whorehouse Massacre. Yeah, dude, we don't really have anything out there, really.
No,
it's like we have a few things on YouTube. It's more live videos than anything. I think from like 7-8 years ago. So cell phone recordings back then were not as good as they are now. Right? Yeah, so a lot of them are pretty bad.
With everybody with their Motorola Razr cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So when we were in high school, we've been going to school to the same schools, right?
Yeah, ever since the third grade, all the way through high school.
Just remember that one time, dude, where you broke your arm?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
This guy, we were playing soccer in the morning dew in the grass, and man, I still remember that to this day. You freaking ran over to the ball.
Yep, just slid.
Broke your arm. Oh, how did that feel, man? When you were a kid?
It was painful. I mean, 2 years before that, I had broken my. 2 years before that, I had broken my right elbow. So I knew I broke it because it was the same exact feeling.
Because you just sat there. Yeah. You just sat there. I'm like, bro, what the heck, bro?
As soon as I felt that pop, I was like, oh, I broke it.
Yeah, I do remember that, man. So we went to school in elementary school, went to middle school together, and then went to high school. Ended up in the same high school. We graduated, right, together.
Yeah.
And then, were you already performing back then?
What year was it? I was when we first started playing shows. I'd say I was 16.
Yeah, I'm listening, by the way.
Sorry,
yeah. Make sure that this is recording. I forgot to check. I forgot to check. What if last episode we were like 20-30 minutes in and it wasn't recording?
Oh shit!
But I think everything's good this time. So we were what? You said 16?
So I first got my bass somewhere around 15, and then I was just about 16 at the time. I think it was a few months before my birthday or something. I don't know, but within that month, I met this guy, and he played guitar, so we kind of started jamming out. Okay. Trying to get some songs together, and then like with the following month, we got more of our friends to get in on it, and we started a band. We've changed the name a few times. This is all stupid ass names, but
well, this time it sounds like you got it right.
Somewhat. It still makes me laugh. I like the name, but it still makes me laugh.
I'm like, Whorehouse Massacre.
I remember I hated the name when we were trying to come up with the name.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of decided on that. I was against it. I was like, it sounds stupid. Yeah, but then I was like, okay, you know what? It doesn't sound too bad compared to some of the other names we came up with.
It's catchy.
Yeah.
I like it. So you were 16 when you first got your bass, but it's not a regular bass. You played a stand-up bass.
Stand-up bass, yeah.
Why I would imagine it's like twice as difficult as playing the regular bass, no?
I'm not really sure. It's technically the same instrument, but it is two different worlds on it. I do struggle to play electric bass. I can't I can't play like this.
Okay.
If I play an electric, I can sit it up on my lap and play like this.
Okay.
But it's a very similar instrument. So I don't know how much harder one would be than the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it the almost exact the same instrument? Like it's the same.
Yeah, you got
the same chords, but is it the same like pitch or tone or whatever?
I mean, technically yes, it is, but you do get a different sound out of it. I mean, when you slap a stand-up bass opposed to an electric, like, yeah.
And that's the main difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why they started with the stand-up bass for like on this genre?
I mean, so it has the rockabilly roots.
Okay.
So I mean,
they played it, right?
Yeah. So I mean, rockabilly, it was all stand-up. I mean, it was before there was even electric basses. So.
Right.
So when psychobilly started, there is bands that do have electric bass, but for the most part, you do see a stand-up bass on stage. Yeah.
Now, how advanced are you playing? What would you say from 1 to 10? Like 0 being an amateur, 10 being a pro.
I'd say I'm around like 5 or something. I've had a lot of friends in the past who are bass players that are just fucking awesome. Like I feel like I'm pretty good at it, but I see some other people playing. I'm just like this guy's fucking good at it.
Do you still make time to practice now?
Usually once in a while, like yeah. I mean, not so much with the band anymore. It's a little harder nowadays, but yeah, I try to play on my own at home. I'll try to learn some new songs or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Still kind of keep that kind of creative juice flowing a little bit.
Yeah.
Keeping the callus on my fingers, because I went one time like a good 6 months without playing it, and oh man, that's rough on the hands.
Really?
Yeah, you lose that callus and you play for 5-10 minutes. Yeah.
And then you guys were doing shows. You guys were touring around, or just doing the shows that were coming up, or
more local stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, when some of the big bands would come out from other countries or something, we'd be asked to play. So that was cool, get to play with some of your favorite bands, some bands that I was listening to when I was like 12 years old. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna get to play with these guys, hang out with them for a bit.
Holy crap! How much of a mind fuck was that to be able to to play along or in the same stage as some of the people that you looked up to?
Yeah. I mean, at first it was kind of like surreal in a way. I was like, because the whole band thing, we never try to make a career out of it. We would just go out and have fun. And at the end of the day, any money we would make would always go to gas money, or what we had was a band account, which would pay for any of our studio practices or any merchandise we would purchase so we can sell. But that money would always rotate. We never actually paid ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah, so getting to that point where we were playing with bands like that, it was a little surreal. Like at first, I was just like, "Oh shit! Like this is actually happening. Like we're getting booked for these gigs. This is cool." Yeah. But I mean, everyone gets older, and everyone's kind of starting their families or getting married, or their careers are keeping them busy. So it is a little harder to play shows nowadays. But
are you planning to go do another show? I think I asked you on text.
Yeah.
I was very interested, but
so yeah, I mean, I would really hope so. So once everything kind of stabilizes again, I mean, I just started this new job and kind of see where everyone's at in life, and then we can see what we can do. But yeah, I definitely don't plan to quit the band anytime soon. Even though we didn't have any practice or anything lately.
Yeah. Well, the next time you guys are out there, definitely let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been now that I get older, I've just been appreciating art in all its forms a little more.
Yeah.
A lot of just artwork or even graffiti, something like back in the day, that's something that was looked down upon.
Yeah.
By our parents, and you're doing graffiti. You must be a gangster or cholo.
But I mean, there's a difference between these like cholo kids writing this weird shit on the wall to people actually spray painting something fucking cool. Yeah, murals or even little like drawings that look kind of cool. Like they're actually trying to put some kind of art. They're not trying to be like, oh, I wrote this. This is me.
Right.
Right.
So you've been around Santa Ana?
Yeah.
So you saw the murals.
Yeah.
Every the first of every Saturday. People go over there.
Oh, the art walk, yeah.
Yeah. And there's people putting up some pieces.
Yeah.
So
so that's something I can appreciate for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I've been getting into a lot of art lately. And for instance, there's a famous jazz musician in town who I met through my mentor.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking that we may go to a jazz club this week.
Oh, nice.
I've never been to a jazz club, but I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird art forms that was, kind of brought together by a lot of different influences.
Yeah.
So I think it would be really cool to check that out.
Nice.
But, Whorehouse Massacre is on my list.
Yeah,
I want to experience what it is to go to a psychobilly show.
Okay. Yeah.
Do they have mosh pits too?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
People get smashed.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember. I mean, I don't go in so much anymore, but when I was younger, waking up the next day just bruised all over my body. There's just fists flying everywhere. Yeah, but it's fun.
What is the psychology behind mosh pits? I never understood that.
I mean, it's just. I guess it's a different perspective on things. I mean, you got this music, you get this adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
It's more of that, like, I mean, you're going around punching people, but it's just more like for fun, I guess. You don't really feel it as you're in there when you have that adrenaline rush, and it just keeps you so pumped up. Like,
but do people throw just like straight, like a 1-2? Do they throw combos
or no? I mean, everyone's just kind of going in there, swinging their arms.
Just swinging.
Yeah.
Like you hit somebody in the face, you hit somebody in the face.
Yeah. I've been hit in the face so many times.
Really?
Yeah, but it's there's people that do get butthurt about it, and then fights start in there, and people get pulled out. But for the most part, it's not something you see very often. It's more of a like friendly thing, which is kind of fucking weird. But I mean, it's fun.
I don't know how it would feel if I'm just like going in there and get decked in the face,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just an accident. It's dark in there. Whatever, most of the lights are on the stage.
Do people throw elbows, knees?
No, commonly no. No, not at psychobilly shows. No.
Okay.
Say more of like hardcore shows. You're getting that, yeah. Every genre is very different when it comes to a pit, yeah. But no, like someone falls, everyone stops. Like you get people stopping the pin, they'll pick you up and then keep it going.
So they're at least courteous in that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man! Now that I think about it, weren't you doing some boxing too?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I did that for.
You did boxing too.
Yeah. I've done that about. I want to say about 4 years, maybe 5.
You did it for 5 years.
Around there, 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
You just quit or like.
So actually, I messed up my back really bad.
Oh, okay.
I was like, my spinal discs were grinding and everything, and so I had to stop. But was it this right before summer? I actually had found another boxing gym close to home, and I had started going again.
This summer.
Or wait, oh no, it was a year ago now. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was going on my days off, whatever, trying to just kind of stay in shape. I wasn't trying to box or anything anymore, but that's what I was comfortable with, going to a small boxing gym, So I started doing that, and it felt like the one I was going to growing up. So, the only thing that sucked is starting the job in San Diego. I'm so far away, so I haven't been able to go back. Hopefully I can do that soon.
Now, what got you into boxing?
My dad actually. So I mean, like elementary and a little bit of middle school, I'd kind of get picked on here and there. I was more of
You did?
Yeah, a little bit. It wasn't that bad, but I was more of a timid person.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember how quiet I was back then.
Well, I mean, we were in the same group, dude.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Like,
we're yeah.
I got picked on.
Yeah, so I mean, I was timid and everything. So yeah, one day my dad's like, "Hey, look, you want to learn how to box?" And took me to a gym down the street and kind of got me going.
Man,
and then
how cool is that?
Yeah, it was fun. It actually taught me a lot of patience.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
I mean, I remember I used to get angry like that. I would just kind of lose my shit 0 to 10. Like,
really?
Yeah, not commonly outside, more so at home.
Okay,
like brother and sister kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I had no, like, my patience was like really shitty. But it taught me focus and patience, and now to this day I look back, I'm like, all right, this really kind of set me up to where I'm at, because I have a lot of patience to really teach and train people how to do, whatever job it is in a kitchen, when I'm put on that,
Right.
Yeah, like when I was a sous chef for 2 years, I mean, I'm teaching them everything I know, and I'm being patient, because a lot of these people, this isn't what they're doing. This is a job for them. Or some of them actually really want to do it and really want to learn. So I really put that time and effort. So it gives me that patience in the sense that, it's like, you don't know how much more stupid things you can see in a day of work, and then you see it happen, and you're just not surprised at that point. So so the way a lot of chefs are can get very angry. They'll start yelling and whatever, but I have that patience, and I'm very courteous about things. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're in a position of a chef, your job is to teach. You're teaching them how to do their job, because at the end of the day, they're the ones running the line. A lot of times, I mean, the chefs are on the line as well. Like me, as I progress my position, wherever I'm going with it, I would never want to stop being on the line with all the cooks. I want to cook with everyone. I want to be there. But yeah, I'm glad I have that patience now, because I have that patience to really teach somebody. A lot of chefs would pretty much be like, "Fuck off, you're no good." When it's like, think back to when you started. What if no one gave you that time and patience to teach you and have you move up? What if they just told you to fuck off?
Yeah.
Yeah. So me, I'm like, ask me a million questions. I'm gonna teach you everything I know. Just listen and let's go.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I feel like you've always been that way.
Yeah.
Growing up with you and going to school and everything. Yeah, I could tell that that's like one of your personality traits, which is really cool, because it's very hard to find. And it's funny because I don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
But most of the friends that I do have are like that.
Oh yeah, nice.
Which is good. You start weeding out some of the people, snakes in the grass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
over time you kind of see who friends are and
Yeah.
who they're not. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, when you said that boxing helped you with patience and focus, but how was it that you found it that way? Like, how was it that it helped you? In what way? Just by hitting the mats, or
Actually,
the mix, rather?
Actually, I found that more in sparring.
In sparring.
Yeah, I remember the first few times I sparred. Actually, I mean, probably months in. Like you're getting hit, you're getting your ass kicked. You start getting angry. You want to fight back. You want to, fuck them up. They're fucking you up.
Right.
So that anger comes out.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, that's where you lost already. That anger comes out. You lose your focus. You let that adrenaline and rage kind of take over, and you're just sprawling at that point, opposed to stopping. You see what they're doing, and you see how you're going to fight back. You make that strategy, and you focus on that, opposed to, going crazy. So that's where I found my focus. Wow. So, I mean, it works for me now, even working in restaurants. I mean, you see a million fucking tickets coming out of that machine. Your board's fucking full. Yeah. You see people get really flustered.
Yeah.
And me, I just stay as focused as possible. And, like that's what I need to do. It's the same thing. That shit's kicking my ass. How am I going to fight it back? How am I going to send all this food out and stay ahead? Yeah. So that's kind of where I see that perspective where it kind of coincides together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's really cool. That's again, that's something that I think a lot of people now are running on emotion.
Yes.
You see that in social media a lot.
Everywhere, really, yeah. But yeah, social media, yeah. I mean, can't let your emotions get to you.
Yeah, some people are just, it's like you're just shouting at people at that point. You're just saying shit to say shit to stir up the pot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, generally speaking, I think people are generally pretty nice.
Yeah.
But I see that a lot of people or at least it's very hard for them to focus. I feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, man, the workload or, because property management, it's not so difficult, when things are good.
Yeah.
But then you get like a report, then you get a leak in an apartment, and then, or I mean, heaven forbid, you get a fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's just a headache. Or processing an eviction, which I've had to do. Had for the first time they dragged me to court, and that was nerve wracking.
I can imagine.
Sitting next to the tenant or the person who you're gonna kick out.
Yeah.
And then going up to the judge, and everything's on them. Like, they're the people who are gonna decide if they leave or not, and then you have to answer to your client.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you're the middleman. You're taking it from all ends at that point.
That sounds crazy. I don't think I could do that.
But it's the same. It's the same when you get those 50 orders or those 50 tickets, and then you get 25 of these freaking vegans who are like, hey, I know your base is with milk, but I don't want milk in it. Can you use soy milk? Like something dumb like that.
Or people with gluten allergy.
Gluten-free allergy, yeah.
I mean, there is a gluten allergy out there, but it's the stupidest thing because people that aren't actually like have celiac are saying like, "Oh, I can't eat gluten." That's the stupidest thing, So that I'd rather see a vegan ticket up there than the gluten. Like when it actually is an allergy, I'm 100% on allergies. I will completely grab new stuff, put gloves on. Anyway, I don't want to fucking kill anyone or get anyone sick, but. I mean, this whole gluten fad is the fucking most frustrating thing ever.
Really?
Because half of these people aren't really allergic to it.
So, because I don't really understand it, because I don't have it myself.
Yeah.
So I didn't really understand what this gluten thing is.
So, I mean, I know it affects people in a different way. It might mess with their stomach or something. But people actually break out in hives or like they'll actually kind of swell up. Yeah. Like, so that, okay, but people doing it for health reasons. If your body can intake gluten, your body needs that gluten technically.
Really?
You don't want to completely cut that out of your life.
You need gluten? Like what is gluten? I don't even know what gluten is.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. A lot of people don't know what gluten is.
Yeah.
So I kind of laugh when I see stuff that you would never find gluten in, like a tomato juice or something, and it says gluten free because all these people are looking for gluten free products but don't know what they are themselves.
I don't even know what gluten is.
So gluten comes from wheat. Okay. So when you start mixing it, so it's pretty much the two proteins bonding, and you create that gluten.
Yeah.
So like when you make bread, that's what gives it that airy texture. That's why like it's nice and soft, and you can see all those little like kind of holes in a way in it. You can see it more when you're actually making the bread. When you let that bread proof and you give it that stretch or you're punching the dough, you can see all the linings. It almost looks like a web. That's a development of the gluten. So yeah, so I mean the thing is it's a natural thing, like occurring thing that happens in breads and stuff, and it's not like they're adding all kinds of shit. Like, I mean, most of us fucking drink soda and eat candy and all this garbage every day. I mean, I love my soda. I love Coke. But I mean, and then people are cutting this something so natural out of their lives. It's like, why are you doing that?
But is gluten something that happens from the processing of wheat, or is it just from?
No, I mean,
happens.
so yeah, when you make bread, I mean, you need that. If there's no development of gluten in your bread dough, it's gonna be your bread's gonna be dense as fuck.
Oh,
you're gonna have a super dense bread.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so if you kill that yeast and it doesn't develop gluten, then that bread's gonna be garbage. That's why all these delicious fucking breads, they all have gluten because it's just something that naturally happens.
Yeah. Now, why does it affect people's stomachs?
So I really don't know too far into it.
Okay.
But I know it's a little more rare. It's like one in one in every 1,000 or so people that have it. I mean, some people are actually just a little sensitive to it. They actually won't like get hives or swell up, but they are sensitive. Okay, so that's understanding too. But yeah, I just don't get where this whole health thing with gluten came in.
It became like a selling point almost, right? Wouldn't you say?
Actually, yeah.
Because remember when soy just started?
Yeah.
And it was a way to cut costs, but then they made it into a thing where like it's vegetarian or it's because I don't know, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess up the term for people. Vegans and vegetarians are two different things.
Yeah.
But whichever of the two groups that can't eat this or like meat, they're like, I need soy. I need the soy based. Yeah. And then it just became this like bad diet. Like, this is soy based. It's good for you. Yeah. It's protein from plants. Yeah. But it's like, do you want your protein from plants or do you want your protein from actual protein sources like, or that have like iron and B12 like meat? Yeah.
But I mean that's more of a I mean that's just like dietary choice, and also I mean I respect it because that's how they see things. So much meat is produced on a daily, and I mean slaughterhouses like the way they're nowadays, like especially the US, like I mean things are like there's small farms that actually like you actually have happy animals that live out in the fields and all that. Obviously you're going to pay a lot more for that. That's more respectable, but you have a lot of mass killed animals, mass produced animals, to where I can see where they're coming from. They don't want that kind of thing, so they're not going to eat that.
As a chef, how do you deal with stuff like that?
So for me, it's more of a respecting the animal.
Okay.
So I as long as I would never have to, I would never go vegetarian or vegan. So my whole thing is, if I have a whole chicken, a huge piece of beef or whatever, I'm gonna utilize every piece of it.
Okay.
Like even down to let's say I break down a chicken, I'm gonna use the bones. I'm gonna use this. I'm not gonna throw anything away. I'm gonna try to utilize every piece of that chicken, especially if it's something I have to butcher myself. Like if I kill the animal and butcher it and everything, it's not gonna hurt me in any way because I'm gonna respect every part of it. I'm not gonna throw anything in the trash.
That's something you learned along the way, or when did you pick that up?
I don't know. Just way think about it. I really don't know where I would. Yeah.
I know hunters. People who go hunting, they'll do a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know chefs.
Yeah.
Usually some people.
There's a lot of kitchens. You see them fucking throw everything away. You see all
food, right? Waste, food waste.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I always hated seeing. So that's why working in smaller kitchens. When I was managing them, I would try to make sure there was least waste as possible because I always hated that people just throw shit away. Oh well, this is whatever. Throw it away. Why? It's not bad. Or they'll drop something on the floor while they're prepping, like a vegetable or something, and they'll toss it in the trash. And I always tell them, where does that grow? Where does that come from? it grows in the dirt, right? So it touching the floor, go fucking wash it.
Yeah, that's a good way to see it.
Anytime I've seen that happen in a kitchen, I'm like, you come from a corporate background, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, because why are you throwing that away? It fucking grows in the dirt. It touching the floor isn't any fucking worse.
Yeah.
Go wash the vegetable and keep going.
What about I mean, I guess like chefs and particularly restaurants, you guys have to deal with a lot of like disease too, no? Like you have to have some sort of like disease control almost. Like you don't want no salmonella on your.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just. I mean you gotta work clean in general.
Yeah.
I mean I'm not gonna have a raw chicken on my board with like a bunch of raw vegetables and stuff like right. Yeah, or like just use the same board for that. You know. Yeah, like you gotta follow procedures and make sure things are sanitized, cleaned up properly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what other kind of like diseases can you encounter in a restaurant like that? E. coli? Is that something that
I would hope not. I wouldn't be working there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, E. coli comes from feces.
Right.
Yeah.
But
so
not washing your hands, right?
Yeah. So that's one big thing. People need to wash their hands for sure. I mean, E. coli can come from all the way from the farms too, though. That's happened a lot in the past 2 years. A big one was romaine lettuce. It was like it happened like 3 times in the past year.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is like, so it happens in the farms, and then it kind of transfers over, and you get these outbreaks. But I mean, there's not much you can do, like besides they just cut it out. Everything gets trashed.
Yeah.
Don't sell in the market until they fix it, and then go on. But I mean, in the restaurant, I mean, E. coli shouldn't be coming from any employee because that would be some fucked up shit. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just working clean, washing your hands, making sure if you're working with raw meats, raw fish, whatever, you clean up and then start over with whatever you're working next.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Man. I always wondered. I'm like, man, like.
Yeah.
It must be so tough because how do you manage all these employees to wash their hands? Because man, now, not that I look for it, but you notice things now. Like now that you're a little older, you notice things you didn't notice 10 years ago.
Oh, easily, yeah.
You see people go to the bathroom and they just walk out from the stall, go straight outside.
Oh yeah.
I almost lose a little bit of respect.
I see that happen a lot. I'm like, why?
I'm never gonna shake that guy's hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's like, do you trust the person who doesn't wash their hand? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that common courtesy, common sense? You go to the shitter, go wash your hands. And I go the extra step where I even grab like an extra towel to open
the door. I do the same thing. I do the same fucking thing. When I dry my hands, I go and I'll grab it.
I've seen people, they just go from stall. Dude, I see that nasty like black tar.
Yeah.
On the handle. Oh man, I ain't touching that.
But yeah, I do the same thing. I always with the paper towels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine it's pretty tough to manage a bunch of people like that.
I mean, you'd
be training, right?
Yeah, that, and I mean, you'd be surprised how much you actually notice on what people are doing throughout the day, no matter how much is going on. I mean, you can't when it's a large kitchen like that. You obviously have a lot more chefs walking around, so there's a lot more eyes out.
I see.
And then small kitchens, I mean, like before it be me as a sous chef and then my head chef. And I mean, in a little kitchen, one person's gonna notice most things. Like, hey, I just fucking saw you pull bills out of your fucking wallet. Go wash your hands. You're not touching food. Like, as little as that. Like, someone will pull money out and try to go back to work, but there's always eyes out.
Interesting. Yeah. So, what are the different positions that are in the kitchen?
So, I mean, hierarchies work so different between like smaller and bigger kitchens.
Really? Okay.
I mean, like the kitchen I'm in now. I mean, it's such a bigger hierarchy, you know, like and I mean the hierarchy is kind of weird too when you get people that are coming from other restaurants in the company. um, you have your prep cooks, you have your line cooks, you have your chef de partie, you have your junior sous chef, your regular sous chefs, your executive sous chef,
And
then your executive
how
chef.
do you even spell that? Sous chef?
Sous, Sous.
And what is that?
So French.
French.
So yeah, a lot of the terms come from the French
there's
background.
A lot of French influence in culinary.
Yeah, okay. Huge. Most of the terms are French, but sous pretty much means under, so it means under chef.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, these hierarchies get a little extensive at some point too. But I mean, at the end of the day, you know who's above you, so that's what kind of matters.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, where are you at this point in your career?
So right now I'm chef de partie. So I'm in between line cook and a sous chef.
That sounds like something I heard on Ratatouille,
man. I don't know. I watched that movie once.
How'd you feel about that movie?
It was alright. It was actually better than I thought it was gonna be.
Really?
I was like, this is gonna be fucking stupid, whatever. Like, I was like, I don't even care to watch it. But yeah, it was alright.
It was alright.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you get that sometimes when you go to like restaurants or you're watching a movie? You're like, that's not the. This guy messed up this, or this guy didn't do that, or he missed this spice or something. Do you ever get that? Like, let's say you're going out to a restaurant.
Oh, you're saying when I go out to eat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not that you're picky, but do you
like just kind of critique a little bit?
Yeah.
Sometimes it just depends. Like, I mean, if I'm gonna go eat fucking fast food, I don't give a shit. Yeah, but yeah, if I'm going to a nicer place, I'm probably gonna be a little more critical on like the food. I'm still not picky. Like, I would still probably enjoy it, but I would be like, what about this or that? Like, you know, I'm paying a lot of money kind of thing. But I'm not gonna bitch and complain about it. But yeah, I guess I can catch myself kind of saying little things here and there, but so that I'm not one of those assholes to be like, hey, take this shit back.
Like, give me a new one.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah, nah.
Dude, I went to Norm's one time, dude. Never again have I gone back. I ordered like a steak and eggs. The steak looked like it came from somewhere in China, dude. Like, it don't even look like steak.
Well, when you're getting steak that cheap, I can imagine.
Like, wait, what do you even, like, what kind of meat do you think that is? I mean,
oh no.
You wouldn't have any idea?
I mean, I haven't ate at Norm's in a while. I mean, that's usually a place I'd go to if I was like shit-faced and it's end of the night. Right. 24-hour places like that.
Yeah.
At that point, everything's delicious.
Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, either way, in my industry, it's funny. Like, we'll be cooking all this awesome food and everything. At the end of the day, we all clock out really late at night.
Yeah.
We're all going to get fast food.
Yeah.
No one's going home to an awesome fucking dinner. Like,
do you think that's a misconception that people have?
Oh yeah, people are like, oh, you probably like eats all this like good shit, blah blah. Like we taste all our food, so yeah, throughout the day we get a little taste of this and that.
Right.
But we're not sitting down after work and having this fucking amazing
like
meal.
Gourmet meal.
We're getting off work and it's 1, 2, maybe even 3 in the morning. What the fuck is 24/7 right now? Like yelping Taco shit. Bell. Like yeah, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Jack in the Box. That's what I've been eating a lot. Around the corner from the restaurant, like half a mile up, like there's a Jack in the Box. So that's what I've been having. Not my favorite fast food, but yeah, it's like you eat what's there.
Yeah, because I always, people. I feel like people have this perception of chefs that you must have your own little home garden. You must have.
I do. Yeah, I actually do.
What kind of vegetables are you growing?
I have all kinds of stuff right now. It's funny because I compost stuff as well, and I've had stuff come out of my compost.
No way.
Yeah, I guess I had a few seeds of a kabocha squash, which is like a Japanese type squash.
Yeah.
End up in my compost, and it grew a fucking plant. I was like, okay, transfer that over. I have a lot of like heirloom stuff that grows. Like I have like black nebula carrots. They're like as dark as a beet. And then
Carrots.
yeah, and
Huh.
then I have Kyoto red carrots. They're really bright red carrots.
It sounds
I
Japanese, is it?
it's I don't think it is. I think it's just the name. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on
Okay.
that. A lot of the heirloom stuff I just want to try out. Like I have bok choy that's purple, which is pretty cool because bok choy is always green.
Green and white.
Yeah, and then I just have a lot of random stuff. I have a lot of edible flowers, vegetables, herbs.
How much of it do you think your like your household consumes? A lot? Do you
What do
consume
you
a
mean?
lot of your own veggies?
Yeah, probably a good chunk. Right now, I'm still waiting to harvest a lot of it.
Okay.
But I mean, as it comes out, yeah, I always pick at it. Like let's say I'm in a barbecue or just make food for my family, I always go to the yard and fucking pick stuff out. And yeah,
Go pick up some kitchen or chicken or some beef and just
yeah.
pair it
And
up with
then
your
I have tons of herbs and everything that grow, and
nice.
different times of years. Over time, you kind of find out where to position it because of the sun and everything. I've had a lot of shit die over the years, and then you kind of figure out where you can grow it, how to grow
How
it.
long have you been growing your own
Um,
veggies?
so actual vegetables, within
Or
the
just
past years, herbs I've been playing around with for a few years now. Vegetables is something that I mean I cleaned up my yard and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start growing stuff. Like I'm just gonna learn as I go.
cool, man.
Yeah,
And then that's one of the things that we were talking about before the podcast. That's really important, right? Just
yeah,
pick something and just learn it.
yeah,
Eventually, you're gonna be making that mistake 100 times, but
yeah,
at 101 times, you're
yeah.
gonna figure it out. Like, you know what? It's obviously not working. Let me try something else.
Even if it's small progressions, you
Right?
find those little progressions and keep going. But then you look back a year ago, 2 years ago, you're like, oh shit, I didn't know as much as I thought I did at this point in time. But looking back, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
Right. Man. Well, yeah, it's awesome, man. I'm really happy to see you finding your passion. I feel like a lot of our friends have yet to find something like that.
Yeah,
It's something that we're. I mean, even for me now, it's. I think my passion would be like business,
yeah,
and then because it allows me to be creative
yeah,
and innovate as I please, and
yeah,
where like because you have that freedom,
yeah.
you're almost like an artist in a
Yeah, I
sense,
mean, yeah, I mean,
right?
there's so many different art forms, like with music and with food. They are different art forms. Um, yeah, with food, I like playing around a lot. Like I like using a lot of colors and trying to figure out the flavors. But I definitely love using colors, so I try to figure out what flavors and colors I can mix together. Um, I can plate up something real nice, but I can't draw for shit. I mean, I can play the bass, and yeah, I still like. I mean, it's so many different art forms. People can do some things, some people can't do others. But
Yeah.
yeah,
What would you before we end this? I just want to ask you, what would you say is something you see in common in all your work history that you've done, particularly like like boxing and you mentioned the furniture, moving furniture. You
yeah,
also mentioned working as a small in a smaller restaurant.
yeah.
Now where you are now, like what's in common? Well, what's common about all of them?
Man, that's a hard question. I mean, I'd say all of it just takes a lot of hard work. Like there's none of what I've done that I can just be lazy about and be like, oh, you know what, fuck it. Like I've put a lot of hard work into everything I've done, and I always stay humble with what I do. That's why, like I was saying earlier, like I don't do my career for the money itself, as long as I live comfortably. I try to humble myself in what I do, no matter how far I get. But I mean, that's pretty much what I find in common with it. Like I just gotta bust my ass all the time. Like I gotta push. How am I gonna get better if I don't give myself that push?
Was that something that your parents instilled in you, or did you kind of just find it throughout the time?
I'd say my parents for sure. I mean, seeing everything they've done, like from like coming out from Mexico, and like just building a life here, from living from apartment to buying a house to, everything they've done. I've like, they pushed so hard to just get to this country. They got here, they did it, they bought a house, they had their family and everything, and it's like, why can't I do more? At the end of the day, I kind of have more of an opportunity. If you think about it, I was already born here. I don't have to struggle to get to another country. I don't have to struggle to learn this other language, to build so much. So why can't I do more than they did for me? So I should be able to push.
Wow. Well, that's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful message for everybody at home. Well, I'm really happy that you stopped by, for taking your time out of your busy schedule to come by and on your day off. I hope that we have you on the podcast again next time. Like Greg can actually be here. Maybe he'll ask you some more interesting questions.
Yeah.
And definitely, man, keep us in mind for Whorehouse Massacre.
Yeah,
I
for
definitely
sure.
want to experience a show like that. I've never been.
Yeah.
And I feel like the more you experience, the more you're exposed to, the more grateful you are, but also like it humbles you, because there's so much you can learn.
Yeah.
People here in Orange County, man, they're stuck here in this bubble, man.
Yeah.
It's a bubble here. They forget. 80% of the people here, I would say 80 to 90% of the people here don't travel.
Yeah, no.
And they're not exposed to these new ideas. And they're like, oh, how am I going to find what I want? But they never go out. They never go and experience other things aside from their daily
routines and stuff. Yeah.
But anyway, man, I really appreciate the conversation. I learned a lot. It was really great to catch up after all these years. And I'm glad that you're still here, man, that you're still doing it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was pretty cool.
So, again, this is Raul Saucedo. Where can people find you if they want to follow you for some Instagram posts and some maybe your shows when they come up?
I mean, Instagram for the band, it's just Whorehouse Massacre. Pops up right away. I wouldn't think any other things pop out. I don't know. I haven't searched it in a while, but it's just straight up Whorehouse Massacre. In Orange County, yeah. And then my Instagram is Psychobilly Guy. There's nothing in between or after, no numbers. It's just Psychobilly Guy.
Psychobilly Guy. It's the guy with the quiff.
Yeah.
Hey, the next time you're on here, you gotta bring that bad boy out.
Yeah, I'll do it next time.
You're the only chef that I've ever heard about who has this quiff. So keep going, man.
A lot of my chefs trip when they see it. Like, what the fuck? I didn't know you had that under that.
Maybe you're like the next Guy Fieri.
Oh, fuck no.
Okay, we're not.
Let's not get into that.
That's another story. Yeah. All right, man.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody.